Reporting season is coming, and for those of us watching small caps, it's less Wall Street Journal and more archaeological dig. No broker notes, no screaming headlines, just you, a PDF, and a lot of coffee. Today, I'm sharing 4 ASX small caps that I'm watching closely, and why their next set of numbers could be make or break. Over the last 5 years, we've covered around 200 different small caps at A Rich Life. This August, we'll likely focus on around 20 or 30 of them. The kinds of companies that fly under the radar of the big institutions, and let's be honest, half the time these reports don't even get a mention in the mainstream finance media. So as I mentally prepare to disappear into a black hole of financial statements, here are 4 companies that I'm watching especially closely. First up, Paragon Care, PGC. This one's been on a bit of a journey lately. Some key things to watch include margins. While the gross margins have improved in the first half of FY25, they're still razor thin. I'll be watching this one to see if this improvement is sustainable or just a short-term benefit from merger synergies or procurement wins. Cash flow. Despite reporting a net profit, free cash flow was deeply negative. Management blamed the timing of receipts. We'll find out the truth in the full year report. Working capital. Inventory and receivables ballooned post the CH2 merger. If that doesn't improve soon, then it probably means something's broken. Debt. Net debt sits at around 226 million. Yes, it's manageable, but only if the underlying business continues to deliver. More M&A? They're clearly still interested in further deals, but can they chew what they've already bitten off? I don't know. There's a lot to digest here. Next is Atturra, ATA. This IT services roll-up has been busy acquiring, but can it integrate those acquisitions? This one's a little bit different to PGC, in that its acquisitions are generally much smaller, but there are a lot of them. Here's what I'm looking at. Margins, historically around 10%, but integration costs have applied some pressure here. Cash flow. The revenue's been rising, but free cash flow is pretty much non-existent. Improvement on this front would be welcome. Organic growth. We know they can grow by acquisition, but I'd like to see the underlying business improving. Third on the list is IPD Group, a distributor of electrical equipment that's been growing fast. But dig a little deeper and, well, you'll see. What to watch for? Margins. The gross margin dropped from 40% to 35.2% after the CMI acquisition. So can they recover some of that lost profitability? Cash flow. It looked solid in the first half, but disappointing earnings guidance in May suggests that management's expectations may have been too high. This can sometimes lead to inventory buildup and poor cash flow. Cyclicality. The company has big exposure to both construction and infrastructure, and ABS data doesn't point to an immediate recovery here. And finally, Audinate, the Aussie tech play behind Dante, the audio networking standard. This is by far the most interesting of the 4. Audinate are actually developing and building new things rather than just distributing or fixing things others make. What I'm watching. Hardware. Hardware sales almost halved in H1. Management says it'll recover, but likely not before FY26. Software. Up 13%, but still small. If software can contribute a larger percentage of Audinate's overall revenue, it could help to smooth the revenue profile. Cash burn. It's still cashed up with around 111 million in the bank, but free cash flow went from positive 11.8 million to negative 8.1 million. Growth is great, but let's not forget that cash is real. Iris Studios acquisition. This part is not so much about the FY25 results, but I'll be keeping an eye on Audinate's offerings in this area, as I think this acquisition could lead to some pretty interesting new products. You might have noticed I haven't talked much about the growth stories for these companies. That's not an accident. These companies will shout their growth stories loudly from a rooftop. But results season is when reality meets PowerPoint. So instead, I focus on what they don't talk about: cash flow trends, margin pressure, and working capital blowouts. It may not be exciting, but that's where the signal is. Growth is important, but not sufficient. If you want deeper coverage of ASX small caps during reporting season, make sure you subscribe and go to arichllife.com.au for more insights like this one.